Okay, so our last lesson, we did the two-column cash book, where we just had cash account and the bank account. What we are going to go into now is the three-column cash book, which is the cash book that you have to know. And the third column, what brings it up to three columns, would be cash discounts. So we have discounts. Discounts are reductions in the basic price of goods or services. And our first discount is the trade discount. Why do we give a trade discount? To encourage business sales. Because people tend to flock to or be encouraged to buy more things or buy things the cheaper it is, right? Law of demand for those that do economics. So whenever a business offers a trade discount, which is a reduction in the price of the product, the list price, the original price, it is to encourage people to buy from them, and therefore the business will increase its sales revenue. So what is important to note, however, in terms of trade discounts, the third column for trade discounts, it is not for that. In the cash book, trade discounts are not entered in the cash book, nor is it entered in any journal. So the third column in the cash book is not for trade discounts. The only thing that is entered in a journal, like a cash book, would be the amount of the list price minus your trade discount. In other words, your net amount. So the amount recorded would be your list price minus whatever trade discount. So for example, the business purchased inventory at a list price of $2,000, got a trade discount of 5%. How much is entered in your journal, like the cash book? It will not be the trade discount, which is the 5% of the 2,000. This 100 is your trade discount. This is not going to be entered at all. You may see it in your invoice, but not in the accounting books. What you will see will be your net figure, or the amount after your trade discount, the amount that you actually paid. So you purchased, the list price was 2,000, but you actually got it for the 1,900 or 1,900 because we got a trade discount. So it is this 1,900 that is entered in our cash book, not the trade discount of $100. You are not to enter it there at all because there is no column for it. The columns that make it a three-column cash book, not for the trade discounts. Instead, it is actually for the cash discounts, so that the only thing that will be entered would be the 1,900. You see there? You're not seeing the 100 at all because it is not reserved in terms of this column. So that brings us to what is entered and what the third columns in your cash book are actually for: cash discounts, which are like any other discounts. It is a reduction in a certain amount. In this case, it is a reduction in amounts owed. So there are two cash discounts that we will encounter. That will be your discount allowed, popularly known as you further your studies as your sales discount. And then there's also the discount received, popularly known as your purchases discount, when you go on to further your studies. We for CSEC know it as discount allowed when we give a discount, and discount received when we receive a discount. So three-column cash book. Three-column cash book combines the cash account as usual, just like the bank account, just like the two-column, and now the third one reserved, as we said, for your cash discounts, which would be a discount allowed, which you are seeing here on the debit side, and your discount received, which you are seeing on your credit side. Two different discounts. They are still cash discounts, but they are different accounts. All righty. So cash discounts are deductions in the amounts owed when the debts are settled within a certain period. So what is the difference between trade discount, cash discounts? Trade discounts are given to encourage sales, encourage customers to come and purchase from the business so that we can increase our sales revenue. Cash discounts are given to encourage our receivables to pay the amount owed to us faster. And then in turn, our payables may give us a cash discount because they want to receive the amount owed by us earlier. So, you know, whenever you sell on credit, we're going to use the sales part of it. You sell on credit to encourage sales. You may give a trade discount. You don't enter that in the cash book. You may also offer a cash discount because when you sold to the customer on credit and they became a receivable, you would have given a certain amount of time for them to pay the amount that is owed to you. So for example, you might tell them they have 2 months in which to make the particular payment. So let's give an example. You sold $2,000 worth of inventory to them on credit. They became a receivable, which means they owe you $2,000. And then you tell them, okay, it's 2 months you have, so you have your nice little contract. But if you were to pay, say, within a month's time, which is earlier, we will give you a cash discount, which would mean that you would not owe the full $2,000, but you would owe less. For example, if they tell you that if they pay the $2,000 in a month's time instead of the full term of 2 months, then they will give you $200 off. So what would that do? The receivables will say, oh, we can save $200. And they will therefore try their best and make the payment in a month's time instead of waiting for the full 2 months and then pay you. They would pay you in a month's time and only pay $1,800 because they have been given a discount of $200. You, what is the benefit? You received your money earlier and you definitely received, even though it's $200 less, you received that $1,800. You don't have to risk now that something happens and you can't receive any of it because something happens with the receivable, for example. Also, you now have within a month's time the actual liquid cash. So you in turn can go and pay your payables earlier and probably receive a discount from them, so you will pay less because they are looking at it the same way as you. They want liquid money earlier, so they will give an incentive. That is how it works, okay? So in terms of the cash discounts are entered in the cash book. Cash discounts are entered in the cash book, not trade discounts. So the cash discounts are entered in the cash book where discounts allowed is on the debit side because it is an expense. Just think about it, right? If it is that you are giving them a discount, which means you are getting less than is actually owed to you, that means that you're basically writing off that discount as an expense because you're not getting that money. You have basically paid them so that they will give you your money faster. See, that is what expenses are. You're paying for something. You're paying for use of an asset. You're paying, in this case, for it to be given to you, the liquid cash, faster. Makes it worth your while. So it is an expense. And as we know with the double entry rules, expenses are debited. So that is why you see the discounts allowed on the debit side. And then for the discounts received, if we are receiving a discount, it means that we are paying our payables less, which is like we have just earned money because we paid them faster. We have received money because we are not paying that full 2,000. We are actually paying 1,800, for example, which is like we got back $200 in the form of a discount received. Income, double entry rules, income would be credit side. So this is why you see your discounts received on the credit side. So there you have your cash discounts. Once again, emphasizing the third column in your 3-column cash book would be for cash discounts, which there are 2: discounts allowed on the debit side, discounts received on the credit side. Nice. So now we're going to go into calculations. How do we calculate it? Discounts, always percentage of an amount. In this case, it will be the percentage of the amount owed. Emphasis on owed. So your total amount that is owed, to find out what your monetary amount is for the discount, it will be whatever the discount percentage is by the amount owed. For example, if you owe $25,000, cash discount is 5%. That means that your discount will be 5% of $25,000, which is $1,250. As easy as that. So let's just do another example. Once again, percentage amount owed. So once they give you the amount owed, which in this case is $47,000, the cash discount is 10%. What is the dollar value? The dollar value will be 10% of the amount owed, $47,000, which means your cash discount will be $4,700. What if they don't give you the amount owed? Instead, they give you the amount paid. Now, with any formula, you must only put in the figures that represented in the formula. The figure that they ask for in the formula is the amount owed. You cannot put any other figure there. That would be incorrect. This is the rule for all formulas. That's what a formula is. It's telling you what you are supposed to do. So the amount owed, they did not give you the amount owed. They gave you the amount paid. And by giving you the amount paid, that means you cannot apply this formula. The amount paid is a fraction of the amount owed after you got a discount. So to work it out would therefore be the formula, not amount paid by percentage, as we said, because that formula requires amount owed, but the discount percentage over, as we said, is a fraction, over the percentage paid. So in this example, if it was the amount paid that was given, it will be 10, which is the percentage discount. So 10 over, what is the percentage paid? If you got a discount of 10%, that means what was paid would be 90%. So it will end up being 10 over 90. So let's see that in an example. The amount paid, which they gave you, not the amount owed, they gave you the amount paid, $23,750. The discount is 5%, which means that to work out your discount amount, it will be the amount paid, $23,750, multiplied by 5, not 5%, which is 5 over 100, but 5 over the percentage that was paid, which would be 95. Easy as that. If it were 3, it would be 3 over 97. If it were 20, it would be 20 over 80. Hope you got it. That's as easy. Good news though, exams, especially recently, have been just going very straightforward. They give you the amount owed, and it's just the percentage over, the percentage multiplied by the amount owed when you want to calculate your discount. Nice and easy. But if they happen to throw in where they didn't give you the amount owed, but they gave you the amount paid, all you know that you have to remember to do is that it is a fraction, and it will be the 5 over the amount that was paid, which I hope you've realized it's just basically is the discount, and the amount for the denominator would be 100 minus your discount, which would be 95. Nice, easy, good. So what we are going to do now would be, of course, we're seeing our calculation there, the monetary amount, 1,250 is your discount after applying the formula. So this is your discount amount. What we are going to do now is we're going to move on to doing an activity. And we are going to apply everything that we have learned so far. Okay, so after that break, because you needed a break, what we are going to do is we're going to get back now to doing the activity for a 3-column cash book. What we are going to do first, however, is that we are going to just go through the question. You can make little notes, whether it be on your mind. In an exam, it is preferable that you just jot down a little few notes. What I am going to do is just show the certain things in terms of highlights. So I'm going to use the technology, but for you, written. Okay, so the first thing, what we have here is R. Kelly. R. Kelly is our business. And the first thing that you do with a question is you look at the balance. Once a business has been operating for more than 1 year, there will be a balance brought down. Now for your cash balance, your cash is an asset always on the debit side. But remember what we talked about in a previous activity for the 2-column cash book, the bank balance can be either a debit or a credit. So we're going to look at our example here, and we see that R. Kelly's bank balance was 3,700 credits. So they gave you the answer, which means it was a bank overdraft. So because of that, it will go on the credit side. And as I said before, the cash balance is always on the debit side. So we have our balances. That would be the first thing that we do when we go to do the activity. Now we're going to go through the other transactions. Remember, all we are doing now is we're going to identify which side. So it's an overview in terms of that. We're not going to do any calculations. We're just going to identify which side, debit or credit. And remember what the question is, because that's the first thing that you have to do. You have to decide, or identify rather, received, debit side. Debit side. Paid, spent money, credit side. Contra entry, both sides. So let's try to go through this really nice and quick. So we have the December 5th. December 5th received. So therefore, very easily, it's going to be debit side. See how quickly? Go to the next one. December 7th, paid a check, which means it will be on the credit side. Once again, in the exam, you can just make a little note. DR for December 5th, CR for December 7th, if that is how you want to do it. If you don't want to go through the whole question and make notes, but you would rather do it one time, December 5th, received, debit side, and then you would write it in on the debit side and then move on to the next one. Okay, so we are moving on to December 9th. Harry, a credit customer, paid. He paid, but the business is not Harry. The business is R. Kelly. We are looking at it from his point of view. So if Harry paid, that means R. Kelly, we received. And once we have identified that, received will go on the debit side. Okay, so moving on quickly, we have December 20th, received 4,000 by check, received, debit side. And then we have the 21st, paid utilities, paid, spent, credit side. You see how very simple it is? Extremely simple. Once you answer those questions, you just go to the particular side. So we are on the credit side now, paid utilities. We will enter it there when we go in to do the practical part of this. So the 26th, bank returned the check. So it is a dishonored check, which means that we thought we had received and we had recorded when we received the $4,000 check. We had recorded it on the debit side, but then the bank returned it for insufficient funds, which means we did not receive our $4,000. So we now have to take it out, therefore decreasing our bank account credit side. All right, so that one will go on the credit side. We have 27th, cash sales, receiving money, debit side. And then on the 27th, again, cash day check for $6,000 for business use. You know what that is? Have you identified? It is a contra entry. So you can make a note, contra entry. So when we go to put it in, we know that it has to go on both sides. And then we have the 29th, paid salaries, $2,500 by cash, paid, credit side. And then last, on the 29th as well, withdrew cash for personal use, that is drawings, always decreasing the money the business has. So that will be on the credit side. So here we have where we have just gone through, we have identified the sides. So we are now going to go on to the other part. We're going to put it on the relevant sides, and we are also going to do the calculations that come with that. So here we go. And you start with the name of the business, R. Kelly. As I suggested that you will do, make a little note in pencil, right? Received money. So you know every time you identify it as you received money, it is going on this side right underneath the received money. And then of course on this side, the credit side, you can just jot down spent money or payments or whatever it is. Okay, so we have the year 2020. Now we can go into doing, and we start with our balance. So December 1st, the beginning of the month, balance brought down, cash balance always on the debit side, so therefore $200. And then your bank balance is an overdraft. It was stated as on the credit side, so you go over to the credit side. December 1st, balance brought down $3,700 as a liability. Note, I have it in red just for you to see it, for it to stand out. In an exam, do not write anything in red ink. You can use blue and you can use black, not red. Just a note, okay? Not green either, not purple, not orange. Just black ink, blue ink. Good. Not pencil either, by the way. No. All right. Okay. So now we're going on to our transactions. December 5th, we had identified it received. So it is on this side. So you simply put the date, December 5th. Who did you receive it from? Merrick. But look, he got a trade discount, but the trade discount does not go into the cash book at all. No, so you're not going to enter this 270. You don't belong here. All right. How much did we receive? The check was made out as $10,950. So you don't have to minus anything because the check already was made out for the net figure, which is the $10,950. We received that since it's a check goes under the bank column, $10,950. So that's it for that one. We go on to December 7th, paid. So that means we're going to be over by the spent money payments. So you simply put the date, December 7th. Who paid? Free paid. Good. and he paid by check. So that will be bank column. But look at this, he got a cash discount, or should I say, we paid him, sorry. So all the time I said Frey paid, but it's not Frey that paid. We paid Frey. We paid Frey, so R. Kelly paid Frey. That is why we're on the credit side. We spent money. And he gave us a discount because we paid earlier. So the discount is 2%. So we did not have to pay the full $4,800. That was the total amount that we owed to him. What it is, that how we calculated the very, very simple 2% of the 4,800, because they gave us the amount owed. So 2% of 4,800, your discount will be $96. Just want to note here, emphasize, never supposed to see 2% here. I have seen that in the past. It is not percentages that are written down here. In accounts, we deal with monetary values. And you see the dollar signs here? The dollar signs mean that you have to put the monetary amount, not the percentage. Okay, so it's $96. And therefore, the remainder, how much we actually did pay Frey, Frey, ooh, tongue twister, right? We paid Frey the remainder, which was 4,704. You can just check it, calculate it, and you see you will get the figure. And when you add up these two, you will get the total amount that was owed. We paid a fraction of it, the 4,704, which would have been 98%, and we received a discount. That is why we paid less. Good. So now we are going on to December 9th. Harry paid us, so we received, so we're going to be on the debit side. You're gonna put December 9th, who it was? Harry. So Harry, and once again, he was allowed or given a discount. So we received money from him, and we received earlier. He owed us $5,000, but because we gave him a 5% discount, and what is the 5% discount in monetary amount? 5% of 5,000. So your discount would be $250. This is your discount allowed. It is understood because it is on the debit side. So $250, which means that we only received from Harry $4,750 because we gave him a discount for paying earlier. Good. So moving on very quickly, December 20th, received the check. So we on the debit side. Who did we receive it from? D. Armstrong. And it was 4,000 check, so bank column. The 21st, paid utilities. So we go over on the credit side. December 21st, we paid utilities expense. We paid by check, so it will be $1,200 under bank. Moving on quickly, the bank returned the check. As we said before, this $4,000 that we thought we had received in terms of money in our bank, it did not have enough funds, so we now have to take out that check. So we're going, when it was the 26th, D. Armstrong's check, and $4,000. So we have just taken it out or decreased the amount in our bank account because we did not actually receive this 4,000, dishonored check. Okay, so 27th, cash sales. Sales is always on the debit side because we receive money when we sell our inventory. So December 27th, sales, not cash sales, just sales. That is the name of the account. And it was banked immediately. So we go into our bank column, bank account column, and we put the 30,000. See how fast we're moving? Because you're just going through the process, answering the questions one by one, focus on each one, and move on, collect your marks. Good. So we have also on the 27th, cashed a check for $6,000. We identified it as a contra. So remember the process that I suggest that you do. It works for me. If you find something that works for you better, please go and do that. Cheating is not one of the options, just letting you know. Okay, so what we have is we start with the debit side. So the date would be the 27th. You ask yourself which one increased. If you cash a check, that means you got cash from the bank. So you cash in hand is what increased. So you go to the column, not the words, you go to the column, the cash column, and how much did it increase by? We got $6,000 cash in hand. And you see that by putting it under the column, and the detail will be the other account, which is bank, and you make sure and you put your CE to represent that it's a contra entry. So we know that we are going to look on the other side, the credit side, and see the information, December 27th, and I just put the exact opposite. I don't think about it like which one decreased and all that. I just put the opposite. If you have bank as your detail over here, then over there on the credit side, your detail would be cash, CE, and the column, because you did take it out of the bank decreased 6,000. Good. So you see that you decreased your bank account because you took out money, so your cash in hand increased. And that is how you do the contra. We now move on. So we have December 29th, paid salaries, spent money. So we are on the credit side, December 29th, salaries expense, and how much? 2,500 cash. So you go to the cash column, 2,500. Moving on. Withdraw 200 cash for personal use. Drawings is you're decreasing the amount of money that you have in the business for business use. So you put the date, the detail is drawings, and it was cash that you withdrew, cash in hand. So you go under the cash column and you're going to put the 200. That's all our transactions. We good? So all our transactions have been accounted for, recorded. So what we are going to do now is, and this is the first time I'm doing this in the video, we're going to balance the cash book. Okay? In balancing the cash book, discounts, I just want to point out for you guys, remember that unlike cash, on both sides being the same account, the cash account, and bank, on both sides being the same account, the bank account, discounts, two different discounts, two different cash discounts. This one, even though they don't have it written down, is your discounts allowed, which is an expense account, separate account for it. And this is your discount received account, different account for it, a revenue or income account. Okay, so to balance, what I usually do is, you see this is on the last line here, on the credit side, we have information here. I skip a line. So I'm going to skip a line and I'm going to draw my lines because they have to be in the same, notice, same line, and you have your totals, okay? Second thing that I do would be the discounts. Now, what I just stated, remember this is discount allowed. So all you're going to do is add up your discount allowed. How much discounts allowed did we allow or give? Discounts did we give? That will be 2,500. On this side, it's a different account. It is discounts received. So how much discounts did we receive? Total of 96. So we are going to put 96 here. This is the only totals that will be different because they represent two different accounts, discount allowed and discount received. When we go to the cash column, which we are doing right now, so we are going to go to the cash column. Cash is the same account. So the first step, cash is always a debit. So debit side of the cash account, we're going there and we're going to total the amount. 6,000 plus 200 will be 6,200. We're going to go on the credit side, and because it's the same account and it has to be equal, your totals have to be balanced equal. That is why it's on the same line. That means that it's going to be 6,200, your same total here. Okay, so you added up the debit side, you got 6,200. Go on your credit side, 6,200. But this side is less than 6,200. So which means you're going to have to find that missing figure that will bring the total to 6,200. And that is called your balance carried down. It is how much you have remaining. You received 6,200 cash, and then you spent 2,700. So how much do you have remaining? What is your balance? It will be the 6,200 minus the 2,700. So balance is always at the end of the period. In this case, 31st of December. Balance carried down, and your missing figure, 6,200 minus the 2,700, will give you 3,500 as your balance carried down. If you don't believe me or you have any doubts, just double check. Add up all of these and it's supposed to come up to 6,200. Next thing that you do is you always bring down your balance. So if your balance carry down is on the credit side, you're going to go to the debit side underneath your totals, and you're going to have your balance brought down, which is at the beginning of the period. Since 31st of December 2020 is the last day, whole years, you have to start a new year. So on the debit side is 2021. Put the year on both sides, even though you're not going to use both sides as yet. And you're going to have, what is the first day? New Year's Day will be January 1st. Balance brought down. And how much is your balance? 3,500. Once again, I have it in red ink there for you, but you're not to write in red ink for the exams. Okay? You can use black and blue if you want to. You could write it in pencil, but you have to make sure that you write it over in pen if you have to. Okay? I would suggest not risking it, because sometimes you forget to do the whole write over. And don't ever write your entire exam in pencil and think that you're going to have time to go and write over. That is a no-no, a no-no, a no-no. Good. So just write in pen. Forget what I said about any pencil. The only thing you can write in pencil is the received money, the spent money, because that is not part of the format. That is just for you to know and focus. Okay, good. So having said that, we have finished with the cash account column. So now we're going to go to the bank account column, but it is not automatically the debit side that you tally, because as we said before, bank can either be a debit balance if you have money in the account, or it can be a credit balance if it ends up being a bank overdraft. So what we will have to do is to look at each side, and then you're going to say, okay, which side? The debit side with a 10,950 and a 30,000. It doesn't have any kind of figures like that on the credit side. So which means that the debit side is the greater total, the greater amount when you sum this up. So this is the side that you are going to sum up. So bank, greater total. So you add up these four items and your total, 49,700. You go to the next side, the credit side, and you're putting the same total because it's supposed to be balanced, equal, the same. So the 49,700 that you got is the credit side total. And that means because this side is less, these things do not add up to the 49,700. Your balance carried down will be your missing figure, your remainder, your balance after you have spent this money. And so therefore it will be 49,700 minus these things. And that will give you $30,096. I am just suggesting, because this is what I do. I do not total these things and then minus it. That's me. Because I have seen people make the mistake, and I believe at the beginning I used to make this mistake as well. Sometimes when people add up something and they put the amount and they want to remember the amount, they write it down here one time. And that is not where that is supposed to be written. This total is not to be entered anywhere here. That is calculations that is done in working behind the scenes. In front the camera, in front the scenes, what is supposed to happen is you see the missing figure, not this total. The missing figure, which would be the difference, the balance, 49,700 minus this. So if you are one that like to add up and then minus, if you add this up in pencil somewhere else, nowhere in your cash book, nowhere in your cash book, you can write that figure and then do your calculations and make sure that it's 3096. Another thing that I suggest you do, just tally these and make sure that you get 49,700. If you happen to have made a mistake and it does not come up to the 49,700, whoop, whoop, you will understand that you did something wrong and you will correct it. So your balance, 3096, we go on the debit side because it's on the credit side, and you bring down your bank account balance, which is $30,096. And you can use the same line. And this is your answer, complete answer for your 3-column cash book, with your discounts allowed, discounts received, cash and bank accounts represented. And then we just went through the balance. Good, so that's it for our lesson. Today, you would see all of your received money, all of your spent money, your balances, and that is what a cash book would look like. And you can just, pause the screen if you have to. There's a question. Yes, it's a bit small, but, you can go back and forth and you can check it out. And that's it for the cash book. What I may attempt to do is to do some activities sometime in the future, because there are other things, especially with past papers. There are some really challenging past papers. In the past, they really used to challenge you. But this is a nice basic way. Remember, always just take things one step at a time, and then you will collect your marks and get your good grades. Okay, so till next time.